In part 1 of my video featuring San Jose del Guaviare in Colombia, I showed you the river at Tranquilandia and the magenta-colored algae, as well as 12,000-year-old pictographs. In video 2, you'll see several waterfalls, the oldest rock formations on the planet, in addition to some natural pools. Last, I visit with a couple of local shamans to discuss health and well-being. And all this was arranged by Jimena and her mom at Hostel Guaviare Sol in San Jose del Guaviare. I hope you enjoyed it. My guide took me down a long and winding trail through the jungle where he showed me 5 distinctly different waterfalls. There hadn't been a lot of rain for a while, and so they weren't flowing that well, but they were still beautiful, and you could see the potential of how magnificent they could be during the rainy season. Apart from myself and the guide, there wasn't another soul around. And just the beauty of the jungle and the peacefulness was well worth the trip all on its own. I was even able to walk behind a couple of the waterfalls. Now, in case you're wondering, it's quite hot and humid in this area, and it is, after all, located near the Amazon region. So make sure you bring plenty of liquid in order to keep hydrated. If you saw part 1 of this video, you'll have heard me talk about how this area has a bit of a reputation for being dangerous. But I talked to a few of the locals, and it doesn't seem as though anything has happened to any tourists at any point. So don't let what you read keep you from going to this beautiful and unique area. This was the last waterfall on what would amount to be around a 2.5-hour trek through the jungle. While on this area, my guide told me that there were caiman in the river. Immediately after that, he asked me if I wanted to go for a swim while he videotaped me. Anyhow, I survived, and he didn't get a video that would go viral on YouTube. My guide at the 5 waterfalls was actually the son of this fellow here to the right. And it'd be Papa who would take me to the next waterfall called Cascada, Las Delicias, which turned out to be my favorite waterfall of the day. La Cascada, Las Delicias is actually located on private land, and so if you want to go there, you'll have to pay a small fee. But it's well worth it. It's only a couple dollars Canadian or US. Just before you get to the waterfall, you'll see these impressive towering rocks, which I thought were really cool. It's like they just come out of nowhere. And within a couple more minutes, you'll be at the waterfall. Yeah, it was a little bit of a squeeze to get through the spot with my camera gear backpack on, but I managed. Whenever you encounter a group of Colombian people, you'll almost always hear loud music, even at a waterfall. So get used to it.
And hello once again. Just wrapping up my day here at a place near San Jose del Guaviare, and today it was all about waterfalls. I had an original plan that kind of changed because the people that I got a ride with out here didn't even know about this place off to the left, which has 5 pretty nice waterfalls. So I had a private guide take me around to the waterfalls, and it's pretty cool. It's kind of waterfalls where you can literally walk right in behind them as well. So the weather was pretty good. It's mostly overcast, so I had fairly good conditions. And then the main waterfall I wanted to go see was called Cascada, Las Delicias, which is that way. So I just came from there, and I had lunch there, a bit of a late lunch, about 3:30 I guess, or 4 p.m. for lunch. But it's kind of neat out here because the people are very down to earth. It's the countryside. Some of them have never really even been to the city. They don't really care to go to the city, and I can totally relate to that. But anyway, it's been a fun day, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do tomorrow, but I have a few objectives in mind. And I thought it appropriate that I record this with the banana trees that are getting bitten now by these little tiny mosquitoes. But anyway, these banana plants are literally in the jungle, and again, it's quite hot and humid, so yeah, it's pretty cool. maybe this is my ride coming. I'm hoping my ride actually shows up, and I'm sure they will because I haven't paid them yet. So that's the trick to it. You don't pay them until after. Later.
So this is the following day, and I had myself a new guide, and he was going to take me around to show me what I was told were the oldest rock formations on the planet. And nearby is a park called Chiribiquete, which has the oldest mountains on the planet. However, the only way that you can get there right now is to fly overhead of the mountains by plane. You can't actually land and explore. And it's a bit of an expensive flight. Maybe I'll get to do that in the future.
Siga, por favor.
Esta roca tiene 165.000 millones de años. Es prácticamente que se dice que antiguamente hay una teoría que se dice que fue mar. Por eso vemos estas formaciones aquí que se llaman escolitos. Los escolitos eran gusanitos que vivían en el mar. Si escuchamos, está coco adentro.
He's basically explaining that this area used to be part of the ocean,
Sí.
and when he hits the rocks you can hear a hollow tube-like sound.
En esta roca los líquenes
Sí, hollow.
de colores verdebiche. Ahora, si nosotros miramos del por qué está marcada la roca como en capas, es por lo que le contaba acerca de la acumulación de sedimentos a través de los años, que dice que el agua también estuvo ahí y que con el tiempo ella marcó ahí, desgastó a la roca. Lo que pasa es que en esta roca hay 4 tipos de elementos que hacen que desgasten a la roca: el agua, el viento, el calor y el frío. Entonces esto hace que a través del tiempo esta roca se desgaste.
El nombre de esta flora es campana.
Campana, sí señor.
A lot of wind.
1986.
One thing I really liked about this area is how peaceful and quiet it was.
17.
While my guides and myself were here, we didn't see another person around at all. So if you like places that aren't overrun with tourists, this might be a great place for you to consider coming to. As mentioned in part 1 of this video, San Jose del Guaviare is 10 hours by bus from Bogota, the capital of Colombia. At first, the bus goes through mountains on its way to Villavicencio. Then, not far outside of Villavicencio, it starts to get flatter and flatter. You'll also find that you're going to one of the more remote areas in Colombia, and it's going in the direction towards the Amazon, hence why it gets hotter and more humid as you get closer and closer to the town. Now my guide's taking me to an area called Los Tuneles, which, as you may have guessed, means the tunnels. And it's a pretty cool area as well.
Y es totalmente natural, ¿cierto?
Totalmente.
Wow. Muy interesante.
I was just asking him if all the tunnels were natural,
Ah,
La puse yo.
to which he said yes. Now, just so that you know, if you had your own vehicle, you could potentially get to all these locations on your own. But it's a lot more fun and relaxing to just go on one of the guided tours with the people that know exactly where they're going. If I would have come here on my own, who knows if I would have even found all these cool spots. The tours are all reasonably priced, and so there's no reason not to go with a tour. Plus, they feed you quite well.
Plica plica o plicamademi. Se llama este lagarto. Tiene 2 penes. Es uno de los lagartos más conocidos por estar en estas formaciones rocosas. ¿Del por qué? Porque él se camufla totalmente en la roca. Los árboles que encontramos aquí son también llamados lagartos. Son los que buscan el modo de sobrevivencia y lo que hacen es extender sus raíces hasta el fondo para encontrar los nutrientes y así poder sobrevivir en la altura.
This particular area definitely had an Indiana Jones type feel to it.
Hey everyone, I'm here in a beautiful oasis near San Jose del Guaviare with my guide. I think I found my little paradise. A little cool water is just beautiful and refreshing. So I think I'm going to go for a little swim. Hasta luego.
After a swim in what was called the natural Jacuzzi, the green water that we just saw, I was taken to the next location that featured this waterfall called La Cascada de Amor, or the Waterfall of Love, after which we went to Los Pozos Naturales, the natural pools. Once again, the water was just right, really refreshing. It was a great day and a lot of fun.
Okay, I'm here at the natural pools at San Jose del Guaviare. The water is really nice and warm. It's a great place. Once again with my guide Christian. It's been a super day. I highly recommend that people come here, but not too many because it will get some places will get closed down if there's too many people maybe. But anyway, another great day. And tomorrow I'm hoping to go talk to one of the local shamans about natural health, so that should be fun. So that's it for now.
While walking back to my guide's motorbike after the swim, he found 20,000 pesos in a shallow area of the river. And so, once we got back to town, he kindly treated me to this drink that's made out of a fruit native to the Amazon region.
Otra vez,
Thanks,
este
Richie.
jugo es el nombre
Borojo,
rojo y es una
fruta
fruta
amazónica.
amazónica. Bueno, es delicioso. Pienso que la gente ahora solo quiere más y más cosas.
While staying at Hostel Guaviare Sol,
Porque
I asked Jimena and her mom if they knew of any shamans in the area. I have another friend from Cali who runs a tour agency to remote areas, and so I already knew there were some shamans, but it was just a matter of whether I'd be able to meet any. Sure enough, Jimena's mother knew of a couple, the ones you're seeing in this video, and so for my last day, I was taken by taxi out to where they live. The main reason was because I'm always curious to hear people's opinions, the shamans that is, about health and well-being. And they agreed to talk to me and to answer some questions. At one point in time, these people will have lived off the land, but since modernization has crept in, since the city is sprawled out more and more, times have gotten tougher and tougher for them. Now, if you listen to that lady, she's actually talking in their native tongue. And then the men are talking to her in what was their native tongue, which is completely different from Spanish. I can't honestly say that I learned a whole lot from them. They seemed rather beaten down by the system, and from what I could gather, they'd really lost hope that things were going to get any better for them. It seemed as though they really struggled to have proper nutrition themselves, and it seemed like they were in a rather sad situation.
entonces, si es posible para comunicar un mensaje para la gente del mundo, ¿cuál es tu mensaje?
Nosotros somos mensajes, nosotros somos cantamos y para
When I asked him if he had a message he'd like to share with the world, I didn't get the words of wisdom I was hoping to hear. Instead, he was basically talking about the desperate situation they were in, and how they needed help.
Llega hasta allá, ahí vienen, entonces, viene gente como usted. Estamos pidiendo a toda la gente.
A few years earlier, I went to visit a different indigenous group on the Atlantic coast of Colombia, and in contrast, they were completely living off the land still, just like they did hundreds of years ago. They also spoke a completely different language from Spanish, and they seemed to be thriving and a lot happier as well. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. And until next time, hasta luego.